We proceed with search into the web service and client layers. Once we have the service layer, the web service layer is trivial, with one small caveat that I'll highlight soon. First, let's review the class. The base URL maps to /search, which makes sense. People search maps to the /people URL. It takes the query/paging arguments and auth header. For simplicity, I didn't incorporate auth, but it should be incorporated. Searching for posts is practically identical to searching for people. This method implements one-time initialization for the search database. It's the one caveat I mentioned earlier. This is a bit of an ugly hack. I open a browser URL with /search/rebuild searchdb $key equals this huge string USHIUY, etc. This allows me to initialize the search database when I set up a server on a new machine. Once the app goes into production, I can remove this method to prevent malicious usage. I could have used other tricks, such as checking a special isInitialized flag whenever search is invoked. Finally, we have one last part, the client-side code. First, we need to expose the server search API via the server API class. Since the code to search people and posts is almost identical, I delegated it to a generic method. The method returns a varying type, but also accepts a type for the business object, so we can instantiate the right class. We can't rely on the value of the T generic in runtime due to generic erasure. In Java, generic argument is syntax sugar that is stripped out by the compiler. When codename1 compiles to the device, we remove everything related to that, since it's only relevant with reflection anyway, and would balloon the code size significantly. In both cases, search is a get operation that accepts page and query data. Assuming there are results, we loop over them and add the business object to the response list. To keep the code generic, we use the new instance method to create the business object. The populate from JSON code is still the same. This can be thrown by new instance, but we should be okay here since this method is only used internally with known class types. With that, search is now mapped to the client side. The last piece of the puzzle is tying it into the UI.